salt and why have we been told to eat less? We've got Amanda here, our nutritionist dietitian. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Chia.
Now, she's going to talk about salt today and what role does that play in our bodies?
Yeah, well, salt is actually made up of sodium and chloride, and it's the sodium in it that can be a problem if we have too much of it.
Okay.
But our bodies do need salt for normal nerve and muscle function, as well as to maintain the fluid balance in our bodies.
Okay.
But we do know that having too much salt isn't good for us, and the reason for that is when you eat too much of it, it causes your body to retain excess water and
Yes.
fluid, which puts extra strain. Well, I should say this then increases your blood pressure and then puts extra strain on your heart, your blood vessels and your kidneys, and can put you at increased risk for heart attack, stroke and kidney disease.
So it could be quite serious.
Yeah, it can.
So what
Yeah.
about children? Like, how do we go about children?
Well, it has the same effect on children if they're having high amounts of salts. But what I would like to mention is it is particularly important for babies to minimise the amount of salt and not add it to their foods, because their kidneys are actually immature, so they aren't able to cope with
That's a
high
good
amounts
point.
of salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to give them less.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, for babies particularly. Yeah.
Wow. So how can we eat less salt? Like,
Yeah.
how does that, what can we do to just reduce the amount?
Yeah, well, a lot of people, adults and children, are eating too much salt. Often people are having double what they actually need. And the reason for this really is that we're eating a lot of processed foods.
Yeah,
and
definitely. I
there's
agree with
a
that.
lot of salt hidden in processed foods. So things like canned foods, sauces, bread, some breakfast cereals, cheese, processed meats, salty snack foods,
Yes.
even sweet foods like biscuits and cakes
Have
can
a lot
have
of
a lot of
salt,
salt
yes.
in them too.
I've seen that, yeah.
So I think probably the biggest tip is to try and eat less processed foods and have more fresh foods which are naturally low in salt or sodium. The other thing is, when you are having packaged or processed foods, is do look at the food labels, choose those that are low in salt, that say they're low in salt or no added salt. You can also look at the nutrition information panel and choose those that have less than 400 milligrams
Okay,
of sodium
400 milligrams,
per
remember that.
100 grams.
Okay.
But also compare the products that you're buying, or look at different products and try and choose ones with the lower
And
sodium.
just don't add more salt to the food you're eating if you are going to have that sort of
That's
stuff.
right, and that's another good tip. So don't add salt to your cooking, don't add it to your food at the table. But I should say that it does take time for our taste buds to adjust.
Absolutely.
So if you're someone that adds a lot of salt or eats a lot of salty foods, it might be better to just slowly reduce the amount and get used to it rather than doing it all at once.
Okay. And I'll just say there's some fancy salts out there, but we don't have enough time to talk about it. But
Yeah.
you were actually saying that it doesn't really make a difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference. So pink salt, rock salt, black salt, they have the same amount of sodium, so they're going to have the same health effects.
Okay. If you want some more tips like this, please follow us on YouTube, subscribe, or Mums at the Table Facebook group, or mumsathetable.com. See you next time. Bye.